Well, the stats are in, and it's not looking good when it comes to those facing hunger in our communities. Here now from the Eastern Illinois Food Bank, Sophie Becker is back with us. Sophie, tell me a little bit about this study. We've gotten some numbers in to back up what we've been doing. Tell me a little bit about the study.
Eastern Illinois Food Bank is part of the Feeding America Network, and that means that we have access to a study they do every year called Map the Meal Gap. And what that does is give us insights into how many people in our community are facing hunger. It breaks down some of the demographics, and this year's study has really confirmed what we have been seeing, which is that sustained elevated need. It actually showed that in the last year, hunger has risen about 34% in our area. So we're now seeing that roughly 134,000 people in Eastern Illinois, in our service area of East Central Illinois, are facing food insecurity.
Well, that is not good news.
No.
But that's why we are so lucky to have organizations like the Eastern Illinois Food Bank to step in where help is needed. Let's kind of dive into some of these numbers from the study, because I think we have a graphic here with them that says, okay, 12.3% of the population facing hunger, $3.99 the average cost per meal. What was it before? Because that doesn't seem extremely high, is it?
It doesn't seem that way, but it's actually the highest it's been in about 20 years, and that's after adjusting for inflation. So they're not just talking about going out to a restaurant, the average cost of a meal, but if you're going to a grocery store, you're still being considerate of your budget. That's the average cost they've calculated it would take to put a meal together. And actually in some of our communities, it was even higher. We were seeing $4.20, $4.40, kind of in that neighborhood.
Oh my goodness.
So paired with what you also just saw, that nearly 50% of the people that are part of this group facing food insecurity are not eligible for SNAP benefits right now. You're really seeing that they're trying so hard to stretch their budget. They're not always eligible for these benefits to support them, and that's why the work that we're doing is really vital in keeping them fed.
Is 9 out of 10 high food insecurity folks being rural?
Yes.
Is that surprising?
It's not surprising. A term that we use a lot is food desert, and that's any area where it is difficult or you have a lot of obstacles to obtain food. That could mean going to a food pantry, a food mobile of ours, some kind of food assistance, but it also just means a grocery store. And in a lot of smaller towns, especially in Central Illinois, you're probably used to driving through and seeing a Dollar General,
yes,
a Casey's,
yes.
Not a full-fledged grocery store, but places like that where people are trying to find food options, and it's a little more difficult for them. So those rural areas do have more challenges.
Well, and I think it's also heartbreaking to see the statistics and the numbers on how many of these people are children that are facing food insecurity, and that's not good.
Yes, it's risen to over 36,000 children in East Central Illinois who are facing food insecurity, who are not sure where they're getting their next meal. And Vermilion County was actually the highest in our area. It was 1 in 4 children in Vermilion County are facing hunger.
Not good. Does that affect how you all operate with this study? Because I know usually $1 goes a long way. Does that change for you guys?
What changes how far a dollar goes with us is more dependent on food cost. So that's something that obviously could change because prices do continue to go up. Right now, a dollar does still provide 3 meals with the Eastern Illinois Food Bank, but these statistics really drive some of our decisions around food mobile routes and what agencies we might be reaching out to in different counties to increase food resources in that area. So what it really does is informs what we could be doing to have the most impact.
And how can we help you make an impact?
Well, the money really does go a long way. I know it's cliche to say, but it is the best way to support us. Every dollar does provide 3 meals, which, as you saw in the statistic, is not the same at the grocery store. So going to eifoodbank.org, you can make a donation. With summer coming up, a lot of children are facing that uncertainty of not having those school meals. So this is a really important time to support those in our community.
Absolutely. All right. Well, interesting finds there with this study. And if you want to learn more about the Eastern Illinois Food Bank and what's happening with them and how you can support their mission, there's a look at their Facebook page, and we'll have their website posted at ciLiving.tv after today's show.